In our last part, we talked about plant classification. Today we'll be looking at animal classification. And under this animal classification, we look at it on this axis, which is what? Animal kingdom. The animal kingdom is divided into two phyla, which are the what? Invertebrata, or what you call the invertebrates, and the second one, the vertebrata, or what we call the what? The vertebrates. If you look at the words invertebrata or vertebrates, you'll be asking yourself, what does this word mean? It simply means invertebrate or invertebrata means animals without backbone. And because there are numerous invertebrates, then biologists, they decided to put them into 8 familiar phyla, which are the first one is what we call the Porifera. We have the Colenterata, we have the Platyhelminth, we have the Nematoda, we have the Annelida, we have the Mollusca, we have the Arthropoda, and we have the Echinodermata. Now look at the Porifera, starting from the Porifera down to the Echinoderms. It is from the simplest to the most complex. Poriferas, these are what? Aquatic animals that do not move. They are attached to what? To rocks. And the example of this Porifera is simply the sponges. Now you have the Colenterate. The Colenterate are more complex than the Poriferas. Then examples of the Colenterate, we have the hydra, we have jellyfish, we have corals, we have sea anemones. Now we've talked about what? The Platyhelminth. But the only thing I want you to know is that if you really want to understand this, just know that once you talk about Porifera, Colenterate, you just take a deep breath. Then the next 3, which are the Platyhelminth, Nematoda, and Annelida, are mainly what? Worms. The Platyhelminths are known as the what? The flatworms, while the Nematode are mainly what? Roundworms, and the Annelida are mainly what? Segmented worms. Now when you talk about the Platyhelminth flatworms, example of this flatworm is what we call the what? The trade worm. Now you talk about what? The Nematoda, which are mainly roundworms. Example is what? The hookworm. Then you talk about the what? The Annelida, which are what? Segmented worm. What we mean by segmented worm simply means that when you look at these worms, they are just like this, but their bodies are divided into what? Segments. That is what we mean by segmented worms. An example of Annelida is simply the what? The earthworm. Another example can be the leech. So now you can be able to know that the invertebrates, the first 5 are the Poriferas, the Colenterata, the Platyhelminth, the Nematoda, and the what? Annelida. Then after this we have what we call the what? The Mollusca. These are known by the what? Soft, non-segmented body. They have what? Soft, non-segmented bodies. Some mollusks, they have what? Shell, while some do not have shell. Now, example of mollusca can be what? The snails. This is an example of a mollusk that has what? Shell. But an example of a mollusk that do not have shell is an octopus. It's also a mollusk. Now we have the Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom. Because it is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom, it is divided into 4 classes. And these 4 classes are acronymed CIMA, which is what? C-I-M-A. The letter C stands for what? Crustacean. While the letter I stands for what? Insecta, all insect. The letter M stands for what? Myriapoda, while the letter A stands for what? Arachnida. Now when you talk about the crustaceans, you can be able to differentiate all these arthropods based on their what? Body segment. Now when you talk about the crustacean, which is the C, you have the crab or the crayfish. Notice that their body system, their body is divided into 2 segments. You have the head like this, before you have the segmented bodies. Because they don't have a single head, their heads are attached to their thorax. That's why the body of the crustacean are divided into two segments, which we call what? The cephalothorax, thorax, and this part, the abdomen. Now, you have the insect, the insecta. The insecta, they can be differentiated from the crustacean through their body segment, because their body is divided into three segments. You have an insect like this, for example, a cockroach. It has a head, it has a thorax, where the wings and the legs are located, and it has what? Abdomen. Just like that. So in insecta now, the body is divided into a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. Example of insecta include maybe the mosquitoes, anything at all that can fly. The insecta, you have the mosquitoes, you have the what? The cockroaches. Now we have the myriapoda, just as the name goes. The myriapoda, you have what? The millipede and the what? Centipede, which is M, goes for what? Myriapoda. Myriapoda. You have here the millipedes, and you have the centipedes. These are different from both crustacean and insecta because their body is divided into only two segments. They have only a head and long segmented body. Long segmented. This is just a head and long segment, and there long segmented was abdomen. Finally, on arthropoda, we have the arachnida. The arachnida are those ones that they do not have what? They don't have antenna. They look like insects, but they are not really insects. And another thing that differentiates an arachnid from an insecta is that an arachnid does not have an antenna, while an insect has what? Antenna. What I mean by an antenna is that it is located on top of the head. This is an ant. This is what we call what? Antenna. Antenna. Now, example here, this is what? A mosquito, which is an insect. Then the other one is what? Spider, which is what? An arachnid. It doesn't have what? Antenna. And the body is divided into prosoma and the what? Epistoma. Now, finally on invertebrata, we look at what? The echinodermata. These are invertebrates that do not have brain. Examples are the what? The starfish, the sea urchins, and the sea cucumbers. Without wasting much of our time, we'll go straight to what? The vertebrata.